Welcome to Build Your Empire. Today we have the amazing Susan Francis with us, and I'm excited to deliver this podcast to you because there's so many aspects to business, but getting your mindset right and learning the skills of, manifestation, I feel is such an important key. So Susan's going to deliver some epic content today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Such an honor to be here. Such an honor to be here and share a few things with your listeners.
You're welcome. So Susan is a leading mindset manifestation and business mentor and a coach empowering female entrepreneurs to create more income and impact in their soul-aligned businesses. She helps women unlock the truth of who they are, helps them to fully step into their power, and teaches them the secrets to taking quantum leaps in their success. That word, quantum leaps, just excites the hell out of me because
me too.
Big things, yeah? So tell us a little bit about how did this come about? You haven't always been this person. What did business look like for you prior, and how did you get to where you are?
Well, my journey here, I don't know, we connected, we were just chatting about it before, we connected through a network marketing company. So in my old life, I was a general manager for a jewelry company. So I don't know how far we're going to go back. I'll keep this part short, but I was always very career driven, always very independent. And when I had my daughter, things changed, right? I've just completely changed my perspective on what was important. And I came across a network marketing business that I saw hope, right? I saw a different way of doing things. And so diving into that uncovered this world for me of personal development. I'd never previously been in the personal development space. And so I just started learning all these new things. And one of the things that I kind of latched onto that someone talked about was the law of attraction. And I started obsessively learning about that. I just found it so intriguing. I'd never really heard about, I didn't really know that much about it. And so fast forward a few years, I had been struggling at my network marketing business, trying to build it up while working full time. Wasn't really working. I quit my job to go all in on my network marketing business, and within 3 months had decided that was not going to be the thing.
Yeah.
And was still doing personal development, was still learning about the law of attraction, and decided to move into the coaching space because one of the biggest reasons, the only reason that I felt like I couldn't achieve what I wanted to and others couldn't achieve what they wanted to was our limitations, right? The blocks, the feeling stuck. It was all the mindset piece because I could see that the system worked, right? Other people were crushing it. Mel, you were crushing it, right? And so I was looking at others going, I am doing all the things. I am taking all the action. Why the hell isn't it working, right? So I studied NLP, I studied timeline therapy, and started about my coaching business. And for the first 9 months, I struggled still, right? I struggled still, having all this knowledge, feeling like I had these new skills. I still really struggled. And it wasn't until I signed up with a coach that I really felt called to, who was a manifestation coach, that things really shifted for me.
Yeah.
So it was bringing together.
Who was your coach? Everyone will want to know. Everyone.
Her name is Emma Burgess.
Okay.
She's amazing. She is incredible. And so she helped me to really get clarity on what my purpose was, or what my place was in all of this. I'd been trying to build a coaching business based on other people's sort of frameworks, trying to learn everyone else's tools, how to, scale with funnels or do organic marketing, trying to learn all the things, but I wasn't really listening to myself. And, I just really came back to trusting what I felt pulled to do and completely shifted direction. So before that point, I wasn't even in this whole manifestation space, and just completely shifted directions, and it just took off. It just took off, right?
Wow. Why do you think that is? I think, and we were just talking about it before when I said, when I launched the agency, it just took off. And then we've probably got a lot of people that are going to be listening going, well, why won't my stuff just take off? Do you believe that is because they're yet to find the complete alignment to speak their complete truth?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely that. It's definitely that. Like I see a lot of people, I work with a lot of coaches. I mean, I work with other people as well, but a lot of my clients are coaches. And one in particular that I'm working with at the moment had studied health coaching and so was going about being this health coach.
Mhm.
But really, she had a passion for love. She loved love. She manifested her husband,
Oh,
and she's this really beautiful story around it. And she'd studied health coaching, so she was like, well, this is my thing, this is what I've studied, this is what I've got to do, right? And so she was on that path, and it wasn't until she really listened to what she was really feeling pulled to do that everything started flourishing, it became easier, things started falling into place. So it's definitely about not following the path that you are most educated on or know and the most about or have studied or feel like you should or are picking it because you think it'll be profitable. It's definitely following what you feel called to do.
or
Like
loyalty.
what, hey,
Or
sorry, what's
loyalty.
that?
I find
Yeah,
that people stay due to loyalty because
yeah,
it's, I've done the work, so I need to stay.
yeah. That's a huge thing. And so it's being brave enough to leave all that behind and follow what you are really passionate about. I mean, that was a big part of it, but also understanding how to shift into vibrational alignment with your desires. Like how, and from what I discovered and what I teach is how to uncover, first of all, getting clarity on what you want, and then understanding how to release that resistance, all the limiting thoughts, stories, all of that stuff that gets in your way. Like that was the game changer for me. So it wasn't about any of the things I was doing. It was about who I was being, like the resistance that was coming up.
Yeah, and one thing, coaches that I worked with, MJB seminars were my introduction to the big holy fuck moment. And there's no other word for it because it was a complete game changer. And, I remember Mitch saying, you need to go to where you're heading and wait for yourself to catch up. And I've never forgotten those words. And it's the same as, you need to go and be that person. You speak of that a lot.
Yeah, because that's how it works, right? That's how it works. I'm working, we're tapping into, when I work with my clients, what I teach is about collapsing time, taking those quantum leaps as we were talking about before. And what that is we are always attracting, right? We are always attracting. There is nothing else outside of us that decide how our life goes. We decide that. The universe is just reflecting things back to us. So when you step into the person that already has your desires and you show up as her, you are magnetizing it to you. But what happens is a lot of people are in this place of like, I'm struggling, it's hard, I feel like I need to do all this stuff. And when I eventually get the results, like then I can relax and feel like I've made it. And that's not the energy that creates. That's operating from lack, it's operating from scarcity. It's not what creates. It's definitely being the person. It's operating from that place now and asking yourself, that woman or man, that person that has what I want, what would they believe? How would they show up? How would they feel? What would they know to be true? What actions would they take? And do those things now. Do those things now when the results aren't there, but you do them anyway as if.
So there'll be a lot of people that go, okay, no worries. I know what my ideal life looks like. And I know what that woman does to live that ideal life. She wakes up different, she goes for a walk in the morning. But then you're going to get a lot of people that go, but I can't do that right now. I can't be her because I work full time. So I'm out of the door at 5 a.m. So I can't go for a walk along the beach as the sun comes up. And, how do you then overcome those types of things, or are they just another layer of blocks that you're putting in the way?
Yeah, a bit of both. I mean, it's more about tapping into the energy of that person, right? What would that person, it's not about just doing all the things. So if you want to be a millionaire, it's not about going and buying a $3 million home now and the sports car, and it's not about shopping at Chanel every day or anything now when you don't have the cash in your account, but it's more about what would that person, how would she feel? What would she know to be true, right? So whenever we're chasing something, it's about a feeling, right? Whenever we want a goal, it's about the feeling that we believe we will have when we attain it. So, if I think about, the next level where I want to be, who I'm stepping into, it's more confidence, it's more certainty, it's more freedom, it's more abundance. So there are ways to feel those things now and to adopt those beliefs now. Does that make sense? Without having to physically do all the things. And the thing is too, tapping into that energy even a couple of hours a day is powerful. So even if you're working full time and have other commitments, you can still tap into it and activate that energy. And you can still shift how you view things. So here's the thing. You could, rather than viewing my job sucks and I hate it and I want to get out of it so I can do whatever, expand my business, you can shift how you're looking at it and have some gratitude for the income and security it provides while you're building your fucking empire, right? And just tap into, I'm showing up doing this job, but this is temporary because I am the woman who has insert dream and I'm creating that, and this reality is only temporary.
And I'm going to share something really quickly. There's two things. Firstly, I did one of your programs the other day, and I, the usual, I'm so busy, I haven't got to it. And for some reason I was like, I've got to do this one. I can't tell you how many courses I've bought and I've never completed them due to that great story of being too busy. But yours, I was like, yeah, this is where it's at. And I remember something happened that day that I was listening to your program, and I thought, you know what, I want to start racing road bikes, me being, completely nuts, some people would say, with my ideas that are popping up all over the place. And I rang my dad because he's in the industry, and I said, Dad, I'm going to start racing road bikes. And he goes, oh, Mel, but like, really? You've picked the most dangerous sport? And I'm thinking, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He's a rally car driver. And he actually rang me the next day. So I had that feeling, that overwhelming, excited, like little girl feeling about starting that sport. And I thought, like, I'm just going to do it. It's going to happen. Where I don't even know how, but I'm putting it out there and it's done. And I actually got a call the next day asking if I wanted to navigate a rally car for the Targa West, which is the biggest rally in Australia, in Western Australia, the next day. So, is it right that,
I love that. That's epic.
Isn't it, right? How cool is it? The other story, I'll think of it, but I've forgotten what it was. But, is it true that, like, this is what you're talking about? It's getting yourself into that feeling where, and I can feel it now, even like I look over and look at my bike and I'm like, ooh, this is what I want to do. And it is like a beautiful childlike state.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's exactly it. I'm doing another masterclass tomorrow, actually, talking all about the quantum, and maybe, I don't know if this will be too much for your listeners or not, but essentially, like, the only moment is now, right? When we make a powerful decision, we change our reality. There's like, if anyone's seen the movie Sliding Doors, it's like with Gwyneth Paltrow, that old movie, it's like, it's something about, the train door shuts or she gets in and there's two different realities that happen. That's happening in our life all the time. When you make a decision that this is what I'm doing, then the universe, what comes back to you, what you're attracting, lines that up, sends you opportunities, sends you little intuitive hits, insights that lead you to it. It's an attraction-based universe. You decide and reality shifts.
Wow.
And
that's just smacked me in the face, because it is so true. The minute you commit, decide and commit that the end result is happening no matter what, you've just chosen that path.
And reality shifts. And I've got so many examples, even in my life from before I knew this work. And I'll share one really quickly. My relationship, I had spent, in my early 30s, I'd spent about 4 or 5 years being single. And I'm in Sydney, in Australia. I was attracting idiots, right? I was attracting guys that were actually in other relationships that just wanted to fling, like guy after guy after guy, like losers. And I had this fuck this shit moment. I am not dating another single loser. I want a serious relationship. Surely there's got to be someone on this planet that could be my soulmate. And the thing is, the stories I'd been telling myself were there are no good ones out there. All the good ones are taken. There's no good men in Sydney. They just want one thing. I can't find anyone that wants what I want. And I shifted my stories, right? I made a decision. I'm not going to date one more loser until someone amazing comes, until an amazing man comes along. And I shifted my stories to, I'm a nice person. I've got lots of good qualities. I'm attractive. Surely on this planet, there has to be one person that could be my soulmate. I made that decision. I deleted a few numbers from my phone, right? All the idiots that I'd still been texting. Mm-hmm. And from that moment of decision, I was inspired into different actions. This is kind of before that app thing. I signed up for a few online dating things. And within 6 weeks, I'd met my partner that I've been with for 9 years, right? It's like
the Susan Francis relationship manifesting show. We did. Whoa. I need this program. I need this program. If you could just create that, I'm in.
Well, that is what I teach. I mean, it's whether or not, I mostly talk about business, but the principles are all exactly the same. It's all exactly the same. It's deciding what you want and then shifting that, what I call resistance, but really it's the limiting stories you're hanging on to about why you can't have it. When you shift that, it's like you were saying, when you decide that you're going to have something different, reality shifts to match that. Because I started showing up as the woman who was going to have an incredible serious relationship. And so if a loser texted me, I'd just be like, delete, I'm not open to that. I'm only open to someone amazing. And things should be like that.
There's so many aha moments right now. I should actually probably be deleting numbers from my phone as we speak. But it's so true. So what was, I know there's probably going to be a heap, but I know for me that there was 1 or 2 books that I just went, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? What was one that stands out for you?
Well, it would have to be anything by Abraham Hicks, like Abraham Hicks, The Law of Attraction, or Ask and It Is Given, any of those. Definitely Joe Dispenza. I can't think what they're called now, but like Breaking the Pattern of Being You, I think it's called. There's a couple of books. So, anything Joe Dispenza, Abraham Hicks, definitely changed my life. Definitely.
Yeah. And for everyone listening, there's a lot of people I know. I can think of a few that are, in a place where a shift needs to happen. There's going to be people that the shift has happened. What's some things that you could suggest that will completely change the dynamic, no matter where you're at? What are a few things people can implement?
To shift the dynamic of how they feel about their business? What specifically?
Yeah. Of course, we're talking about building your empire in this podcast. So, no matter where they are, what's a few things that they could do to shift themselves in the right direction of where they want to go?
Yeah. Okay. First thing is be madly in love with what you do. Be madly in love with what you do.
And that's where the first shift needs to happen?
Definitely.
Yeah. Perfect.
Definitely. Because when I first started coaching, I was selling a sort of a transformational program, but it really focused on helping you release negative emotions, limiting beliefs, and and then sort of stepping into your power, which are still things I do, but I felt like focusing on the releasing all the crap was attracting to me people that felt like they were broken. Does that make sense? And so that felt very heavy and draining. And so even though I was trying to sell it, I really didn't want to sell it. There was a part of me that didn't really want to do it. And so it wasn't in alignment. So when I shifted to coaching women in mindset, manifestation, and business, and helping women quantum leap, that just lit me up. I was excited about that. So the first thing is absolutely like being in love with what you do. And I'm just going to relate this to coaching. If you're a coach, being aligned with all your offers. And what that means is, like, let's say you've got a one-on-one offer or a mastermind or a group coaching program. You need to kind of look at that offer and go, am I in love? Like, do I feel completely aligned with that offer? Like in terms of the time and energy I'm putting into it, the price that I'm charging, what I'm giving, right? It's all got to, and what I believe they will get out of it. It's all got to feel really juicy, because sometimes I see coaches get into this pattern of trying to put too much into offers, not charging enough. And so therefore there's a part of them that doesn't really want to do it. Right. So the first thing is, when you, like, people feed off your energy, you're attracting what you believe, what you expect. So when you are freaking in love with what you do, and you know your work is powerful and you can change lives and you've got something incredible, others will feel that. Yeah. Right. There's no convincing, there's no convincing yourself, no convincing others. Like, if you're not certain and in love with what you do, then others won't feel that either. And that applies to all businesses. It applies to all businesses. Even if you're selling a physical product, if you don't believe it's the fucking bomb, then no one else will either, right? If you're like, oh, I've got this product, it's like so cool, come and buy it.
And how's this one for crazy? Even if you've never ever told anybody that you think it's expensive, but in your head you're like, fuck, that's expensive, and you're trying to sell it, everybody that you come across will be like, oh my God, it's really expensive. And
yeah. That's exactly what I mean. It's exactly what I mean, right? So because our thoughts are frequency, our thoughts are vibration. That's what I mean. When you think my product's too expensive, then you will attract people that feel like your product's too expensive. Yeah. You know, when you feel like your coaching is too expensive, you'll attract others that will feel that way too. That's what I mean about your offer. Your product has to be a no-brainer. You've got to believe it's a no-brainer. You've got to be like, of course, it's incredible. Like, it's a no-brainer price and offer for what they're going to get out of it.
Yes, I'm just writing this down now. Like, it's one of the key things, you know, a lot of people that sort of come into my space, you know, that are learning how to overcome objections. Like, the objection is you, is what I just wrote down. The objection is you.
Yeah.
Because if this person is objecting, there's areas that you're not maybe, you know, super loving, like you said, or you know, you're not aligned with, and it's all they're doing is mirroring back to you, you know, exactly that same belief that you have. Isn't it crazy? Like, and I can see, you know, obviously, if you open that can of worms of personal development, you can never ever close that bad boy again. That's it. You've entered the rabbit hole. But, you know, I can see how you can get addicted to this stuff, because, you know, it's something that I, as a successful businesswoman, put into practice every day. You know, as soon as, you know, we reconnected, I'm like, yep, I want to see what you're doing. And yep, I want to look over here. And, you know, just making sure that you've got all the right people in your corner, I think is a massive thing. So what were some fundamental people in your corner? Obviously coaches, you know, who else in your journey into, you know, successful business? Who else was it in your corner?
My partner was in my corner. Doesn't really believe and understand exactly what I'm doing, but is supportive regardless. So it doesn't mean that someone's got to completely like get it all, right? I don't jam with him about quantum physics, you know. But yeah, so he's been supportive of me doing the business, but also just other people I've met mostly a lot of people I've met women I've met online through being in other programs or courses. You know, I've got one friend here in Sydney that is also a coach and on a similar journey, but it's, I mean, you know, the friends that were in my life 5 years ago, most of them aren't in my life now. And it's not because we've had a breakup. It's just that I've changed and evolved and moved on and have different views and beliefs and different people I want to spend time with. But yeah, it's so important. It's so important to find your tribe or people that get what you do. But what I want to say as well is that can be online too, because sometimes people struggle with like their immediate, whether it's family or friend group, that doesn't matter. I mean, one of my, I would call my best friends lives in New York and I've never met her, right?
Yeah. One of my biggest cheerleaders lives down the road. We've never met.
Lives where? Sorry, down the road, and you've never
She
met.
actually lives down the road. We met online, but we've never actually hung out.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I met this girl, Lisa has her name. She's in New York, and we met through a course, and we just really clicked. And we've been each other's cheerleaders and support, and we just get on Zoom chats and talk for hours. And it's just, I mean, when borders are open and we can visit each other, we will. But it's like you can have your support people. You can find them wherever you are.
Yeah.
They don't need to convince your family and friends to be your biggest cheerleaders.
Times are changing, aren't they? And we're moving into that online space so much more, but we're still trying to skull drag the old ways, where my friends are people that I hang out with. Whereas I'm like, you know what, my biggest cheerleaders, I actually don't even hang out with them. I don't speak to them every day, but they've got my back in some cases more than people that I actually hang out with, because like you said, I don't really jam with them about digital marketing, I understand that. So before we wrap it up, somebody that was listening that wanted to really dive into manifestation, and I know for me, when I first heard about manifestation, I was like, righto, I'll test it out then, because I'm that person, fine then, I'll test it and see if it works. And I actually manifested $30,000 into my letterbox.
What?
Yep. And the money was not supposed to be paid. There was a cutoff date that the money was supposed to be paid, and it was 13 years prior. And I believed so much that, it was wrong, the rules and regulations that were in place, and, this was something that was supposed to be, for my family and my business startup, and, crazy. And I think, to be honest with you, if I was to put a number on what I've manifested in the last couple of years, it'd be close to $1 million. Easy. So
amazing.
If you were to give somebody a bit of advice that wants to test this out, not only would I hands down vouch for your programs, they are incredible, what would you say to them as what's step one? Obviously, add you on Facebook and, jump into some of your groups. What's the next step after that?
In how to manifest, or how to tap more into my world?
I think let's go straight into the manifesting, getting the results that they're looking for.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're new to manifestation, I mean, here's the basis of it, right? And it is so simple. You decide what you want. You give it some focus, the universe lines it up, and you just become open to receive. And that seems really, really simple and too easy. But that is really the core of it. But if you've never... Here's the thing. I mean, it's interesting. When you started talking about testing the universe, I was like, oh, I wonder how this story is going to go. Because most people would be like, I tried that manifestation thing and it doesn't work. So what I'd suggest you do, if you want to test it out, is start with something that you have no beliefs about. Just think about something small, like some red roses, right? And just, you can even just think about how much you love red roses, or, think about them, think about the smell. You can close your eyes, spend a few minutes just feeling into what it's like to have red roses, see red roses, be given red roses, how they make you feel. It's really just tapping into that end result, right? And that's, you can just start playing with it as simply as that. Just focusing on imagining, feeling into the end result of something. But do it with some things. If you want to test it out, do it with some things that you don't have any attachment to. Like, you don't really care if they're going to come or not. Don't start with, I'm going to manifest $10,000. That wouldn't be where I'd suggest that you start playing with this. Yeah. Start with something like that. But for anyone who has been playing with manifestation or is skeptical, right? This is what I would say, is that manifestation, the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you believe. It gives you what you expect. So the universe doesn't let you down.
Repeat that. You got to repeat that line.
The universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe gives you what you believe and what you expect. So it's not that the universe let you down, it's that your feelings did, right? So your thoughts and your feelings let you down. So if you are wanting to create, let's say, $10,000, and you're thinking about $10,000, but you think about it and you don't believe it's possible and you don't expect it to come and you don't feel like it's a reality, it's not that the universe let you down, it's that you did, right? Because your beliefs aren't on board. So the work that I mainly dive into with all of the courses and clients is uncovering what your resistance is so that we can clear it out. What are those beliefs you have about why $10,000 can't come to you, right? We shift that stuff because it could come in so many ways. Like you just mentioned, you had this check in the mail. A million things could happen. There is infinite possibilities, you know, so many different things could happen.
Yeah. And I think also it's, you know, taking notice that sometimes the money's already coming to you, but you're like, I need to see 10,000. So you're expecting it in your bank. But you know what? You might have had a $10,000 saving in something, you know, that was a big item that you purchased, or, you know,
Yes.
so I think that I can't remember who it was through, but there was another course I did many years ago, and one of the exercises was to actually document for the entire time that the course was running. Document when you do your food shopping, what's the amount on the bottom of the receipt that you saved, and you had to move that amount into another account. And so then when you got fuel, you saved $4. Then your girlfriend bought you a coffee, which you were going to buy anyway. So you moved the $4. And oh my goodness, the amount of money that is actually coming to you that you haven't even noticed. And am I right in saying the universe won't give you more unless you already are grateful for what you have?
Gratitude is, so what you receive is what you give your attention to, right? What you receive, like what you focus on. You've probably heard where focus goes, energy flows, right? So when you're focusing on, oh my God, look at all of this money that is coming to me. Look at, oh my God, look at this, look at this, look at this money that's coming to me. Look at this money that I'm saving. Then what you're doing is your focus on that is expanding it, right? So gratitude is a really powerful way to amplify those feelings of abundance.
Yeah. I love
you know, so being grateful for what you have now, no matter where you're at in your business, be grateful for every client, every cent that comes in. You know, a little great practice that you can do to feel more abundant with money is to look at the money that comes in each day or week or month. And even when it doesn't feel like a lot, like let's say you're just receiving $50, to sit down and go, how are all the ways I could spend $50? $50 could buy me like, I don't know, 10 coffees or 20, you know what I mean? 15 coffees. It could buy me, I don't know, a mani and pedi. It could buy, you know, like actually like really feeling into the abundance of everything that comes to you expands what's coming.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So many amazing tips. So where can people find you? On Facebook, anywhere?
Yeah. All the places. So the best place on Instagram at I am Susan Francis. Facebook group. I don't know if you can pop the link down below. Solar Line Business Babes on Facebook. I do a lot of free live trainings in there. And then my website as well. There's free resources if people want to check that out. I can give you the link if you like at susanfrancis.com.au. So I'm everywhere.
Perfect. Thank you so much for adding so much value. I'm sure that there's going to be so many aha moments on the other end of the podcast or YouTube, however people choose to receive this information. I've got a ton of notes here where I'm like, oh my goodness, little things that, you know what, I need to go back and have a look at. So I'm super grateful for you. I love watching you crush it. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun. Thank you.